What is up, everybody? Doomwake here. Welcome back to another modern video on the channel. As always, before we continue, be sure to smash that like and subscribe button. We are inching ever closer to 3,000 subscribers on the channel. It feels like just yesterday we were at, less than 1,000, and the growth over the growth on the channel over the past month with Modern Horizons 2 has been absolutely insane. So thank you again for that. I really do appreciate it. And also, don't forget to leave a comment in the comments section below. Let me know what you thought of the video. So, we are continuing our foray into Modern Horizons 2 with something old, something new. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but we have Ad Nauseam. So, Ad Nauseam is a deck that's been around in Modern for quite some time. Older versions of this deck utilized Simian Spirit Guide along with Lightning Storm. So the idea was you would draw your entire deck with Ad Nauseam in combination with Phyrexian Unlife or Angel's Grace. Draw your entire deck, exile 3 Spirit Guides, Lightning Storm your opponent. Easy. Well, now that Simian Spirit Guide has been removed from Modern, we need to find a new win condition. And we have Thassa's Oracle to facilitate that. Now I recall versions of Ad Nauseam prior to the banning of Simian Spirit Guide were starting to play some copies of Thassa's Oracle, so it is something that had already been beginning to be adopted into the Ad Nauseam shells, just not in full capacity like you see here. More so just against cards like Meddling Mage and Cranial Extraction or Surgical Extraction effects, where you needed an additional win condition in those particular matchups. But now that we don't have Simian Spirit Guide, we're focusing entirely on Thassa's Oracle. So, just to kind of quickly go over this, for those of you who haven't seen Ad Nauseam in action before, the main goal is to put either Angel's Grace on the stack, which says you can't lose the game this turn, or put Phyrexian Unlife into play, which basically says you can't lose the game for having 0 or less life, right? So you have one of these two cards. You cast Spoils of the Vault, which says name a card, reveal cards from the top of your deck until you hit that card, put that card into your hand, exile the rest, you lose a life for each card exiled this way, right? So the idea is cast one of these two cards, which basically says you can't lose the game for having 0 or less life, cast Spoils of the Vault, you name a card that is not in your deck. We're going to see if we can get some style points for different card names. My personal favorite is Savage Beating, but there are some other good ones like Rookie Mistake or something along those lines, but just name a card that is not in your deck, so you exile your entire deck, and then you play Thassa's Oracle with no library, which you win the game. So that's kind of, we're sort of trying to assemble A plus B plus C, and the rest of our deck is mana, Lotus Bloom and Pentad Prism, cantrips, Serum Visions and Sleight of Hand to find the combo, and then we have a new card from Modern Horizons here, Profane Tutor. So this is the Demonic Tutor with Suspend. So you suspend it for 2 mana, 2 turns later, you get to search your library for any card. Pretty powerful effect when you're trying to assemble a 3-card combo. So that gives us some more added consistency that the deck was missing previously. So we're kind of morphing into less of an Ad Nauseam style deck. As you see here, we only have one copy of Ad Nauseam, which is mostly just as a target for Profane Tutor. It kind of acts as a 5th Spoils of the Vault. But I would say primarily you're trying to set up Spoils plus Oracle plus one of the 2 white cards. But there is still one there because there are situations that you do want to get it. Maybe you're low on cards and, I could see a situation where you're at a reasonably high life total, but you're kind of out of gas and you just want to tutor for a card that gets you multiple cards because, maybe you're playing against the control deck and you just want to draw 4 or 5 cards and can maybe set that up. And then the rest of the deck, the last card that we haven't gone over is Pact of Negation, which is some pretty good defensive measure. Again, if you're trying to set up the combo, you can, if you're worried about counter spells, you can go, cast your combo pieces, they counter your combo piece, you Pact of Negation their counter spell, win the game. Also, Pact of Negation has a hidden mode in this deck that it acts kind of like a Force of Will with Angel's Grace. So Angel's Grace, again, says you can't lose the game this turn, so what you can do is, let's say your opponent plays, Athalia on turn 2, and you really want to counter it, you can Pact of Negation Athalia, untap, Pact of Negation, pay 5 mana, you lose the game trigger on the stack, cast Angel's Grace, now you can't lose the game, you can then choose to not pay for the Pact. So that's kind of cool. Definitely something that came up in the previous versions of Ad Naus, and hopefully we'll get to see that in action today. But yeah, deck's pretty straightforward, just a bunch of 4-ofs, except for the one Ad Naus. 20 lands, pretty straightforward. 4 copies of Clearwater Pathway, 4 Darkslick Shores, just blue-black lands that don't deal you damage. City of Brass Gemstone Mine to facilitate the white cards, and sideboard Veil of Summers, and then some basic lands and Seachrome Coast to round it out. And then we'll just go over the sideboard pretty briefly. Leyline of Sanctity is a card that is good against burn, but it is primarily here for dealing with Thoughtseize. Specifically like the black-red mid-range decks that have Thoughtseize, Inquisition, bunch of targeted hand disruption. You bring in Leyline against those decks, you blank a lot of the cards that really matter, that they have that really matter. Spell Pierce, Pact of Negation, and Veil of Summer is our sort of control package when we need to fight over counterspells. Spell Pierce is just the cheapest and covers the widest range of stuff. It's good against other counterspells, good against Teferi. And then we have a 4th copy of Pact of Negation, as well as 2 Veil of Summers, again fighting against control decks. Veil of Summer also comes in against the Thoughtseize decks, so another card that's good against those decks. You have 2 copies of your own Thoughtseizes for the combo mirrors, 2 Slaughter Packs for when you're playing against, let's say, humans that have a lot of Hate Bears, Meddling Mage, Thalia, things of that nature. You can Slaughter Pack those to be able to go off. And then 1 copy of Sigarda, Host of Herons. This one looks kind of weird, but it is a hexproof flyer that hits pretty hard. It's a 5/5 for 5, so it clocks them pretty quickly. What you want this against is mid-range decks that have a lot of targeted removal, because they're going to bring up most of their removal spells anyways, but it's nearly impossible for them to kill this. They also, your opponents can't Liliana the Veil this, they can't make you sacrifice it. And then, that's kind of the idea behind it. It comes in against those mid-rangey decks where you just you're a little lower on cards, and you just have this card that is hard for them to interact with on a meaningful axis. So, that is the deck list. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into some games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 1. Alrighty, YouTube, back here for round number 1. We are playing Ad Nauseam. Okay, so we have a Lotus Bloom, a Cantrip, part of our combo. This hand has a little too much mana, but Cantrip and one of the 3 combo pieces with mana I think is good enough. Can sleight of hand ideally into one of the other combo pieces. I think this hand's okay. It's not perfect, but I don't imagine this is a mulligan. Alright, opponent has kept 7. Let's go ahead and play sleight of hand. Let's see what we got here. Maybe looking for a Serum Visions or something like that. More mana. Guess I will just take Island. Sure. Alright. Suspend. Steam Vents go, huh? So it could be one of the blue-red Murktide Regent decks with like maybe Delver of Secrets or something like that. Alright, they have a Mishra's Bauble. Yeah, almost certainly that deck. Oh, never mind. Looks like it's... Is it Urza's Kitchen? I guess it could still be Dimir, because they do have 1 Steam Vents to splash for Sideboard or Braid. This matchup is generally pretty favorable for Ad Naus. I've played this a bunch from the kitchen side, and I think it's a pretty bad matchup for the Dimir deck. Although our hand's not the best, so... Alright, Clearwater Pathway, not ideal. Play a Pentat Prism for 2. Hopefully find some combo pieces in the coming turns, because otherwise we're not doing too much here. Alright, activated some baubles. Just going to pass. Lotus Bloom is currently on 2. See what they have. Another bauble. Okay. Yeah, so it looks like it's the blue-black version. They're basically just blue-black with a very light red splash for Sideboard or Braid. I actually just uploaded a video with that deck the other day. think it was about 2 days ago now. They could have Metallic Rebuke, but I think I'm still just going to jam it. It's not really getting any better for me. I guess maybe it is. Yeah, maybe this was bad, because I'm resolving this next turn. They usually have 2 Metallic Rebuke main deck. Okay. They did not fight over it, which is good. I probably should not have cast that. I almost certainly should have waited. If they have something I care about, I can cast Pact Negation this turn. Although I probably don't need to. I'm not going to counter that. The reason this matchup is so bad from the Dimir side is you can't create a fast enough clock. It's so hard to generate pressure outside of, like, a turn 2 Saga and a pile of artifacts. And even when you can generate pressure, you have cards like Phyrexian Unlife and Angel's Grace that just buy you infinite time. Yeah, that's fine. You also don't really care about this card for the most part, other than it just being a 1-mana 3/3. The ability is basically irrelevant. Get the cookbook, play it off of the Mox Amber. They have a Daredevil to generate more food, but again, we don't really care too much about this. So now if we draw another Spoils or an Oracle, we do kill them. So hopefully we draw one of those 2 cards. We get mana off the Lotus Bloom. Not that we need it too much. Alright, so 7 outer to kill them. There we go. Play Pathway. Usually you always want to play the Oracle first, and then you can respond to the Oracle trigger and cast Spoils. We even have Pact Negation backup if they have something weird. For like maybe a bounce spell for Phyrexian Unlife. Should be good. Can't imagine. Alright, opponent is off of it. Alright, so game number 2. I'm actually using the sideboard guide from the Ad Nauseam specialists themselves. Blue-black Asmo, 2 Slight, 1 Serum. Wow, he doesn't even bring in Leyline, huh? I guess they don't have that many discard spells. So, 2 Slight, 1 Serum. Bring in 2 Veil and a Pact. Not bring in Spell Pierce, huh? I guess Spell Pierce is kind of awkward because their counter magic usually only costs 1 mana, like Metallic Rebuke. So maybe it's hard to set up a fight with Spell Pierce. And they do have Thoughtseize, but the most popular versions of the Asmo decks only have 2 Thoughtseizes, so you don't really want a ton of Leylines against only 2 Thoughtseizes. So that kind of makes some sense. Go ahead and submit this. Alright, everybody, we are back here for game number 2. What do we got? We have a Sleight of Hand, a Profane Tutor. I think this hand's a keep. I'm not really sure. We have 4 mana sources. We have a Tutor and Sleight, so like ideally you can Sleight into a combo piece, Profane Tutor for another combo piece. We don't have any fast mana, but the thing about this matchup is you don't really have to be fast in this matchup, because again, they can't really pressure you, so it's less of a race and more of just set up and try and protect against their interaction, which they have not that much of. So just like hitting all my land drops, and there we go, there's a combo piece. I'll take another combo piece. Cool. So now we have everything rolled up for a turn 4 kill. So that's cool. We have Pact to back it up as well. They're rolling a Carpet Spell Bomb. It's not the best start for them. Yeah, Lotus Bloom right on time. Right on time. Ideally, obviously, suspend Lotus Bloom on turn 1, into turn 2, suspend Tutor. They both come off at the same time, which is kind of cool, but, take what you can get, I guess. Auto yield to these. Assuming nothing crazy happens next turn, we should be set up for a turn 4 kill with Pact backup. So, and even if something weird goes wrong, we can pay for Pact the turn after with Lotus Bloom, like if they have 2 interactive spells. Might as well cast the Unlife, not really a reason not to. Honestly, I don't really care if they counter this because I have the Grace in my hand anyways, so if they chose to counter that, it would not be that bad for me. And if it resolves, also fine. Alright, looks like they're going to float mana, get a card off of Saga. There isn't too much they could have off of the Saga that would matter. The only card that they could possibly have this turn is Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. Of the cards that people usually play, or excuse me, Dream Render, not Nightmare Weaver. Of the cards that people usually play in the sideboard, the only really card that could even matter here would be Ashiok, and that would turn off my Profane Tutor. If they had Ashiok, I could just Pact of Negation it, untap, Pact Trigger on the stack, cast Grace, resolve this, get spoils, play Oracle, play spoils, kill them. I mean, I might as well counter this, right? They've already played their land drop and they can't do anything else. So there's kind of no reason not to counter this. I can't think of one because they've already made their land drop. So even though I don't have to counter it, I don't know, something weird could happen. Like, given that they've already made their land drop, there's just nothing else they can do. So I think it's fine. All right, we're going to cast Angel's Grace. Then I'm going to elect to not pay for my Pact. They're going to draw a card. We're going to resolve the tutor, get spoils, and kill them. There's the spoils. There it is. Choose not to pay. Oh, wait, I didn't lose. All right. Oracle, trigger on the stack, cast spoils. We're going to name Savage. Nope, never mind. We're not going to name anything. Opponent's off it. All right, cool. So that was round number 1. Again, this is kind of the biggest reason to play this Ad Nauseam deck right now, is I think the Dimir Asmo deck has such a hard time beating this setup of cards. So hope you enjoyed the games. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 2. YouTube, we are back here for round number 2. Unlike our previous hands in the last round, this hand does not have any mana sources. It has 1 mana source, but I mean, I guess this hand technically has all of the combo pieces and 2 cantrips to find lands. Do I want to keep this on the draw? Maybe this is closer than I think it is. I'm really not sure. Probably have... The problem with this hand is we have to hit like 3 land drops in a row, but we do have 2 cantrips to do that. You know what? I think I talked myself into it. I'm going to keep this. I'm not sure if it's right. Let me know in the comment section below if I should be keeping this hand or... Oh, that was a good draw. Okay, what are we casting first? Probably Sleight of Hand. That was what we were looking for. Take a land, suspend that. It's like we had it the whole time. Flooded Strain is generally not a great matchup if they are playing a control deck. That is like the biggest reason with the rise in Ad Naus is the decrease in control, because control is so bad against Urza Saga decks, but... What is this? Oh, the unwinnable matchup. Okay, cool. I mean, we have the combo in hand, but we have to dodge Pact of Negation. Or not, we have to dodge Surgical. Well, there's not a lot I can do here. I'm going to cast Serum Visions. And hope this is good enough. Is there any reason I should be topping either of these cards? I think I'd rather just hit land drops. But I could keep the Pentad Prism, which is sort of a land drop. I'm going to suspend Lotus Bloom this turn. I'm not sure how relevant that's going to be, though. I'm just going to bottom both. Maybe I should keep the Prism there. I'm not sure. Wow, this matchup is bad. As you would expect, the deck that has mill plus 4 surgicals, not the best matchup. We do have ley lines in the sideboard. Another Glimpse the Unthinkable. Alrighty. Alright, if they have surgical, I think I'm just gonna scoop. I don't want to show them my deck. We physically just can't win anymore if they surgical Oracle. Looks like they have the surgical. Alright, we're going to pack it in. We are dead to that. Alright, so sideboarding for mill. We're going to bring in, just looking at the sideboard guide here, 2 Pierce, 2 Veil, 2 Veil, 2 Pierce, 2 Thoughtseize, 4 Leyline, and a Pact. 2 Thoughtseize, 4 Leyline, and a Pact. We're cutting 1 Oracle, 4 Unlife, 4 Serum, 3 Slight, 4 Unlife, 3 Serum, 4 Slight. It's too many cards. 1, 4, 8, 9, 12, 2, 4, 6, 7, 11. So it's 1 card off. Oh, maybe just the 3rd Pierce. Right, yeah, that makes more sense. So we're cutting an Oracle in this matchup because they have Surgical. We're a little bit less reliant on it. Bringing in all the counter magic, bringing in the ley lines, bringing in the veils, and Thoughtseize is cutting some of the slower cards, cantrips, and unlives. So let's go ahead and do a little bit of praying because this matchup is bad. Get to be in the play, which is, I guess, at least a plus. I would highly recommend not playing this deck if your meta features a lot of mill. This hand's really good, though. This is maybe a hand that could get there. Am I leading on Thoughtseize? I'm a little bit worried about leading on Thoughtseize because of the Pentad Prism. Because I think I'm gonna... I kind of want to suspend Profane Tutor on turn 2. I think I should Thoughtseize. Yeah. They have 2 Ruin Crabs. I can't see their hand. 2 Ruin Crabs, a Hedra. These 2 are blanks with the ley line, so I'll just take a Ruin Crab. Because the rest of their hand is nonsense. Because these ones specifically target a player. Ruin Crab does not, so... Alright, there's the Ruin Crab. We drew another ley line. Not the best. Not the best. I mean, the good news is we have a ley line and they got a bunch of blanks. So we need them to dodge Surgical if we mill the Oracle. Because usually ley line buys you a lot of time. You know, they do have cards that can get around ley line, but not a ton, you know. So it does buy you a good bit of time. All right, there's the Flooded Strand. What do we got? That is unfortunate. I was really hoping to draw a land there, because now I kind of have to deploy Pentad Prism. Is there any chance that I Profane Tutor for a land and not Chimstone Mine out the Prism here? Also, drawing back-to-back ley lines is not the best. I think I actually should do that. No, that's just bad. Black, white. I think that's just bad. Although it's even worse if they drew a Drown in the Lock for this, because then we're just down to 1 mana source. But I think what I'm going to do is just... I think I'm going to tutor for Oracle. I think that's my plan. Fractured Sanity. Okay, let's see if they drew the Surgical. I hope they did not, because if they did, we can't win. That's Profane Tutor. Find Oracle. Lotus Bloom, not the best. Not the best. Yeah, this is another one of the cards that gets around ley line because it says each opponent. Should I be casting Spoils? I don't think so. I drew another Fractured Sanity. Okay. Can we win anymore? Well, we're at 12. Oh, we just had lethal, right? Because we only have 12 cards in our deck. Yeah, we just had lethal, right? Blue, blue, Oracle. Trigger on the stack, cast Spoils. Yeah, we only have 11 cards in our deck, so we only take 11. Name a random card. Alrighty. Never mind. As I was saying, do we have outs? We just had lethal, so that's cool. I missed that. Okay, game 3. Submit. Winning the unwinnable matchup. Leyline did brick off a bunch of their stuff. They still drew 2 fractured sanities. I love that game. I hadn't realized that we were gonna be at high enough life total to be able to spoils for the rest of our deck. But that is definitely a line. I wonder if it's just a matchup where you can't afford to keep a hand without Leyline. Like, is this hand good enough? It's really slow. We have a couple tutors, but I think this hand might just be a mulligan, to be honest with you. They also didn't show Luris, so they probably have Ashiok, if I had to guess. And if they have Ashiok, these 2 profane tutors look really bad. I mean, we can Thoughtseize the Ashiok, but I'm gonna mulligan the Leyline, I think. How about this hand? This hand has no fast mana. We do have the combo rolled up. This hand draws Pentat Prism, we can kill on turn 3. With a Thoughtseize backup. Alright, I talked myself into keeping. I'm going to keep and put back Spell Pierce. Talk myself into keeping it. I don't know if it's right, but looks like they're mulliganing pretty aggressively. I think they're on 5? Yeah, they're on 5. They kept 5. Okay. Dark Slick, Ruin Crab. I guess they probably mulligan. Oh, okay then. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. I think I'm just going to take the Orb. I mean, I don't really think Vision's just 1 mana cycling. Maybe I just take the 1 mana cycler. Because they mill 3 more here. Like, if they draw exactly Glimpse here, this is pretty bad for me. So maybe I'm supposed to take the cycler there. Not sure. Alright, your move. Fetch. That's fine. They're paying 2 life. They're just going to cycle the Glimpse? Or Visions? Perhaps? They are. And I assume they shock there in case they drew a second Visions. I mean, they know their life total is pretty irrelevant, so... Alright, there's a Flooded Strand. We have an Oracle in the graveyard, so really hope they didn't find a Surgical Extraction, because that would be bad. We pretty much have everything else beat. Alright, do you want to go for it? They could have Drown. Yeah, let's just go for it. I didn't come here to not go for it. Thassa's Oracle. They're choosing to counter this. Cycle in response. Okay. See if they found the Drown. Alright, trigger on the stack. Cast Angel's Grace. Cast Spoils. Does it resolve? It did. Abiding Grace. I don't know why I chose Abiding Grace. I just clicked a random card name. Alright. We beat the unbeatable, unwinnable matchup. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Like, this is the first time I've ever encountered this matchup in Modern before, so I'm not really sure. I assume it's horrific game 1, but Leyline definitely helps a little bit. That game we didn't even have Leyline. We just had a turn 3 kill, so... not really sure what to make of that match. Again, I'd have to play this matchup a bunch to see what happened. I've been told it's a bad matchup for this deck, but we somehow beat them. So 2-0. See you back in just a little bit for round number... See you back in just a little bit for round number 3. Alrighty, YouTube, we are back here for round number 3. That is a lot of Serum Visions. We have two out of 3 combo pieces and a bunch of cantrips. Okay, I'm in. This hand doesn't seem too bad. A lot of setup. Hopefully we have time for that setup. This hand could be really bad against something aggressive, but we shall see. With 3 copies of Serum Visions, we are pretty likely to find the 3rd combo piece. Obviously, the ideal scenario is Serum Visions, draw land, and then put, like, Profane Tutor on top, and that just sets us up for a turn 4 kill. We need to find a white source, but... So you go turn 2, Suspend Tutor, turn 3 on life, turn 4, you know, do the thing. But I do need a white source. So this hand's technically missing two things. We're missing a white source and a third combo piece, but we have plenty of Serum Visions to find us gas, so... I don't really want more white cards. Well... if I keep the Grace... No, I got a bottom. I was going to say if I keep the Grace, I could potentially set up a turn 4 kill if I draw a Spoils after it, but... Plains Aether Vial, huh? I feel like Plains Aether Vial is an okay matchup. Not sure. A little late to the party. I believe I'm just going to play Pentad Prism. And then suspend Lotus Bloom. I could double Serum there, but if they have something like a Thalia, I think I'd rather just have more mana in play, and then I can just, like, play this, then they play Thalia, then I can just go Serum Visions to try and find a white source, and then maybe unlife the turn after. So I think this is better if they have a Thalia. They have Stoneforge Mystic. That doesn't really concern me too much. They got Cauldra. And Esper Sentinel. Okie dokie. So we need a Spoils. Drew an Island. I think I'm going to Serum Visions and just not pay. Yeah, I think that's fine. Because if I pay, then I have to remove 2 counters off the Prism if I find... yeah, if I pay, then I have to go land... Play on life minus 2 counters, and I only want to remove 1 counter. The question is, do I want this tutor or is it too slow? So what I can do is I can top the tutor, play Island, Serum Visions, draw the tutor, tap Dark Slick Shores, tap Pentad Prism, suspend tutor, and then I have them dead in 2 turns, which is 2 Cauldra hits. So Cauldra, that would be 6 minimum, and then the turn after 7 minimum, that's 13. But I am going to get to play the unlife the turn after that. This is close. I could also just bottom both. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could bottom both Serum Visions again. And then the next turn, if I Serum Visions into the Spoils, I'll have 6 mana to go unlife Oracle Spoils all on the same turn. I think that's better. How about another Serum Visions? This is tough. I think I should bottom both of these. Yeah, I'm going to bottom both. Maybe that was bad. Maybe I'm supposed to draw the tutor there. I also don't want to use a counter to play an Oracle, even though it lets me look at 2 cards. Because if I play Oracle, even if I hit Spoils, I still can't kill them next turn. So I don't really see the point in removing a counter to play the Oracle there. Because I can just do that next turn. I want to at least give myself the out of being able to kill them if I draw Spoils. I mean, I probably have time for the tutor there. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of awkward. Oh no, we drew both basics. Oh, that's so bad. We drew the only 2 basic lands in our deck, and if they Ghost Quarter us, then... Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not good. Alright, they're going to put in the Cauldra. Cauldra has entered the battlefield. Man, that is very unfortunate that we drew only 2 basics. Alright, take 6. Huh. Let's see. I assume they're going to Ghost Quarter us in our draw step. If at all, but I assume they're doing that. Yeah, it looks like they are. That is unfortunate. Alright. I'll just double check to make sure. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm just gonna play Unlife and that's it. Take 5. Or I could play Oracle. Play Oracle, play Dark Slick Shores, and then if I hit, I get 2 looks at the spoils, and if I hit the spoils on top, then we're good. Plus I have the Lotus Bloom coming off next turn. Okay, yeah, I'll just play Oracle this turn, I think. There's the spoils. And I can't imagine we're dying this turn. We have plenty of mana with the Lotus Bloom coming off next turn. I think we can even beat a Thalia, right? So we pay 1 for the Thalia for the Bloom. Then we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, we have enough through a Thalia. Okay, we don't have enough through Ghost Quarter and Thalia. They could also have Skyclave Apparition, and they could Skyclave the Unlife in response to the Oracle trigger, which would remove the Unlife from the battlefield, and I would die to state-based effects, but I don't know if it's state-based effects exactly, but I would die to the Unlife not being in play anymore, so, because I'd be at less than 0 life. We'll see what they have, though. We do have lethal set up through most things, outside of Skyclave, of course. Alright, we'll take 5. 6. Yeah, I just don't... Oh, why are they attacking with Stoneforge? I don't know, I'll just block Stoneforge. I don't understand the attack with Stoneforge, but... Okay. I guess, in theory, if I wanted to prevent 3 damage from the Germ, they would get it an extra point with the Stoneforge, and it's mostly a free attack. That makes sense. Okay. Okay. Huh. Well, I can just... Oh. Okay, never mind then, we win. 3... And even if they Ghost Quarter us, we would still have 6 mana. So we're good? No. Alright, I will cast Lotus Bloom. I will not pay for the Sentinels. You can draw as many cards as you want, opponent. Alright, Lotus Bloom resolves. Play land. This gets sacrificed for black. Alright, black, black. Black, black, white. Cast Unlife. Cast Oracle. Trigger on the stack, cast Spoils. Name Savage Beating. And there we go. Alright, we got game number 1. Thankfully, they did not have the Skyclave. I wonder if they were supposed to just kind of hold this up in hopes that they peel a Skyclave off the Sentinel if I don't pay for all 3. I don't know. Interesting. Okay, I'm looking at my sideboard guide. My sideboard guide doesn't have taxes. Thoughtseize. Treat this like humans, maybe? Yeah, probably treat this like humans. Bring in Pact and Thoughtseize. That makes sense, yeah. The matchup plays out very similarly to humans. They have a little bit more disruption, but a lot of their elements of disruption are largely the same in terms of just being creatures. And then cut a Serum and 3 Pact. Yeah, Pact and Negation seems quite poor. Let's do that. Alright, we are back here for game number 2 against Death and Taxes. We got a lot of mana, 2 combo pieces and a sleight of hand. Seems fine to me. Let's roll with it. They kept 7, so... Their main disruption is like stuff like Thalia. I guess sometimes they have Sanctum Prelate. But they're not usually going to name 0, so we can Slaughter Pack that. Aether Vial. Well, I guess if we have double Lotus Bloom, they might name 0. What am I casting first? So I'm looking for a very specifically Thassa's Oracle, and I have everything else rolled up. So I think because of that, I'm just going to cast Serum Visions. Because the only card I want is Oracle. And I just want to dig a little bit deeper. There we go. Top that. Definitely don't need the third spoils. Suspend some blooms. And it looks like we are good to go for a turn 4 kill. We have a lot of mana too, so we can maybe even beat a Thalia. Because we can pay for both Lotus Blooms. I guess we would need to find a third land. Because we need 3 different colors of mana the turn we're going off. Yeah. Alright, there's a Thalia. So now we can pay 2 mana for a sleight of hand, try and find a third land. Yep, I'll take a third land. Again, I don't really need the Profane Tutor because I have everything else rolled up. The only thing I'm worried about right now is Sanctum Prelate. I think everything else we should be mostly good against. Is this? I hope it's not a Sanctum Prelate. Because that would be bad. That would be bad. Sanctifier and Vec. That one does not really do much. Mana. Esper Sentinel, maybe? Maybe they're trying to cast an Aether Vial, but they can't because of the Thalia? I wonder why they chose to cast the Sanctifier. I guess they have another 2-drop. Maybe a Stoneforge. Alright, take 2. Take 2, I accept. These go to 1. They have 1 more turn to find some meaningful disruption. I'll take a Pentad Prism here. That would be a sicko one. Land's not too bad either. You can just pass. Alright. I don't really think there's a reason to play Gemstone. Well, there's a reason not to play Gemstone Mine because then Darkslick Shores were coming to play tap next turn. And the reason to play Darkslick Shores, or the reason to play Gemstone Mine would be in case I was worried about taking lethal damage this turn, which I am definitely not. I don't really think they can kill me with that board state, so it's really just Sanctum Prelate or bust here. I think we should have most other things covered. Okay. Because we're even killing with Grace, so they can't even have Skyclave Apparition to interact. Alright, take 6. That is fine. And it looks like we maybe should be good to go. So they have Prelate right now, which maybe they do. Alright, Lotus Bloom. Resolve. Resolve, please. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No Sanctum Prelate, please. Oh, I see. Okay, okay, okay. Well. Maybe I was supposed to play around that in spoils for Slaughter Pact end of turn. I didn't think about that. Because I can spoils now, which, I mean, I kind of have to, right? Yeah, I kind of have to spoils now. I just hope I don't die. Slaughter Pact. I was probably supposed to do this end of turn. Looks like we died. Yeah, we died. Okay. Well, wouldn't have mattered. Even if I did an EOT, I still would have died. Okay, submit. That is definitely a card I did not think about. I forgot that they played that card. Not that there was much I could have done differently that game anyways. The only thing I could have done differently was cast the spoil, like if I was playing around that specifically, cast Spoils of the Vault end of turn to try and find the pact, and I still would have just died anyways, so I could not have beaten that card. Alright everybody, we're back here for game number 3. Let's go ahead and see what we got. So, this hand has a lot of mana, which is good. We have Spoils and Ad Naus, which is not the best, but if we find a white card, we can maybe just set up, like if we have enough mana, we can maybe just set up an Ad Naus kill. I'm going to keep this. This hand is definitely keepable. We're going to go turn 1 Coast, Vision, Suspend Bloom. We are looking for white cards, specifically. I would prefer Angel's Grace, but I would accept an unlife too. They went to 6. Serum Visions. How about a Profane Tutor? Excuse me. Is that fast enough? So what's the ideal situation with these cards? I mean, I kind of want to just play Prism next turn. This is tough. So I can suspend Tutor next turn. And then I can Prism the turn after? Probably good enough. Yeah, alright, I'll keep the Tutor. I think I'm going to ship the Visions, though, because I kind of want to draw land after the Tutor. So this goes to 2, then we go Black Source, Suspend Tutor, these are both on 2, and then they both go to 1, we play Prism. And then even if they like interact with the Prism with a Skyclave or something like that, then should be good to go. We just need to hope they don't have Archon, which they might, but... And that was the consideration, is potentially bottom both to try and find Slaughter Pact. Well, actually, if they have Archon, I can actually stack the triggers, such as I can put Lotus Bloom on the stack first, resolve the Profane Tutor first, and then the Profane Tutor would resolve before the Lotus Bloom, so then I could get packed and then pack the thing. Cool interaction here. Dahlia making Pentad Prism cost 1 more allows you to do it for 3, which is pretty sick. It's actually kind of funny that that came up. Just gives you more mana on the Prism. That's pretty cool. Alright, well, if they have Archon, then we won't necessarily be able to kill them. So let's hope they don't have Archon. I can beat Thalia, I think. 3, 6, I have 9 mana. Yeah, I should be able to beat Thalia. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I have a mana left over to spare. Okay, I can beat this. As long as there is no... Yes, that is acceptable. Take 5, go to 14. What 2-drop could they even have here? Oh, they could have Leonin Arbiter. Leonin Arbiter is a card they could have. Well, let's see if they have it. I'm going to stack this first. Alright, so they're going to vial in. Yeah, they do. Okay, so before the suspend, so the Profane Tutor effectively cost me 3 mana. So I tap my 3 lands, because I have to pay 2 for the Arbiter, 1 for the Thalia, put the Grace in my hand, remove a Pentad Prism counter, cast the Lotus Bloom, and then I have 5 mana, but I need 6 to be able to go 2 for Oracle, 2 for Grace, 2 for Spoils. So obviously if I draw land, I win. Just trying to think if there's any way I can do this, like, deterministically. So pay for Arbiter, tap City of Brass, cast Profane Tutor. Yeah. Get that to 5 mana. Is there anything else I can get? I'm trying to think. No, I don't think so. Alright, so I'll pay 2 for this. Hopefully just draw land. Alright, cast this. Get Grace. Lotus Bloom. Cast Lotus Bloom. Land, please? That is not a land. Well, not missing anything, right? 2 for Oracle, 2 for this, 2 for this. That's 6 mana. We only have 5. They have 3 cards. Alright. Go. That's unfortunate. Because now they might have Archon. Although, if they had Archon, they certainly would have just played it last turn. So they definitely would have to draw Archon. Like, I can't imagine they would want to attack me for 3 instead of playing Archon. Alright. That's not an Archon. Alright, take 7, go to 6. I accept. I am at 6 life. What now? Okay, untap. I mean, I think we just have to hope they didn't draw the Archon. I'm trying to think if there's any other way we can do this. Oh, I just hold priority, right? Yeah, I could just go put spoils on the stack, hold priority, cast Grace. Yeah, then Grace resolves. So I could beat Archon. Yeah, what am I saying? Okay, so hold control. Tap this for white. Tap this for black. Holding down control. I'll hold control again. Cast spoils. Cast Grace. Grace resolves. Spoils resolves. And then I Oracle. And even if they have Sanctum Prelate, they can't. Prelate's only non-creatures, so. I knew there was a way to beat it. If they don't already have it in play. But I assume if they had it, they would have vialed it in on their turn to prevent this exact scenario from happening. They can't have Meddling Mage. I don't know what they can have here. Flicker Wisp, but I can float mana in response. I just can't think of anything they could have here. Alright, cast the Oracle. What you got, opponent? What you got? Alright, did we get him? I think we got him. Again, I really can't think of what they could have here. They're going to take a little bit of time to think. Alright, Oracle has resolved. Trigger has resolved. That means we're 3-0. Yeah, not a ton to say about this matchup. They did have, I think probably the most important card in this matchup is definitely Archon of Emeria, which they did not have this game. So that was pretty good for us. I think maybe there's a line that we could have had to beat it game 2. I'd have to go back and watch that. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the games. We're 3-0. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 4. Alrighty, YouTube. Let's see if we can keep it rolling. We're currently 3-0. So this hand has some cantrips, 2 combo pieces, and a Lotus Bloom, and a Profane Tutor. I think you have to keep this hand. This hand's kind of bad if they thought to use the Lotus Bloom, but we can hopefully visions into, just cantrip into some lands. So I think this hand's fine. Forest Utopia Sprawl, huh? I wonder if they're Heliod. Okay. So given that I just need to find lands, I think I'm going to play Serum Visions first, because I just want to hit my second land drop. There we go. I'll keep a third land too. Suspend Lotus Bloom. Let's see if this is... Could be Ponza, could be Heliod, could be Enchantress. I'm not sure which one I'd rather have it be. Oh, I guess I probably don't want it to be Ponza, given that I have no basics. I do have a Lotus Bloom, though. But our combo requires us to have blue, blue, white, black. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Well, that sucks. Alright, Dark Select Shores go. The really awkward part about this matchup is that Lotus Bloom only generates 1 color of mana. And again, you need 3 colors of mana to be able to kill them. So that's not good for us. I'll say that. Ragavan. Interesting that they didn't reveal Obosh. I wonder what that's all about. Because usually the versions of pawns that I've seen have been Obosh versions. That would have been a good draw. I don't believe they are allowed to cast that, no. Alright. What do we need? A basic land? Nope. Definitely not a mountain. Mountain does not help us. Mountain does not help us. Question is, what am I doing with the Lotus Bloom? Probably nothing. Oh. Okay. Alright. So now our Lotus Bloom shut off? Yeah, we're dead. We are dead. Wow, this has to be the worst possible matchup. Blood Moon plus Karn. I don't even know what we're supposed to do. I guess we bring in Slaughter Pact, hoping that they have only Magus and not Blood Moon. And bring in Thoughtseize. I don't really think Spell Pierce is where we want to be. We probably want Pact, too. Just hope that we always have Pact plus Grace. I'm going to shave the cantrips. I feel like in general you just shave cantrips. So I'm going to do probably 3 Serum, 2 Slight. I could cut the Ad Naus too. Maybe keep another Serum. No, I'll keep the Ad Naus. Alright, well, we beat Mill in round 2. So, I imagine, I don't know if this matchup is better or worse than Mill, but they both seem pretty bad. I think I have to keep this because I have turn 2 Prism. I also have a Tutor. It's weird that, like, normally you would want to suspend Tutor on 2 before you Prism, but I think in this particular matchup, I kind of have to suspend Prism first to get under a Blood Moon. I'm not sure if I should be keeping this hand, but... And they kept 7. Uh-oh. Well, we were doing good up until we played this matchup. Everything was fine up until now. The Fun Police have entered the fray. Okay. That makes me kind of want to suspend Tutor, because if they have Blood Moon or Karn, I can go Pact plus Grace. Yeah, so I can suspend Tutor this turn. Let's say they have Blood Moon or Karn, something I care about. I Pact, untap Grace, play land, play Prism, still with the Tutor suspended. Yeah, I think I like that better. I like that better. Okay, that means no Utopia Sprawl. Well, no Karn this turn, I should say, because they can't sprawl their land, tap it, untap it again. They can do it this way and then still have 3 mana, but... Yeah, I mean, maybe that was a reason to Prism, because then I could just not fight over this, but... Now that I've taken this line, I kind of have to fight over it. Even though I don't want to. But because I have chosen to do it this way, I kind of now have to. Black, green. Your move. So we have a Tutor coming off of Suspend. The awkward part about this exact setup is we don't know necessarily what we want to Tutor for. I guess we can get Ad Naus. And just hope that we can get to it. Hope that we can get to that point. 5 mana. Ugh. Oh my goodness, this matchup is atrocious. So I Pact, pay. Ugh. It's my other line. If I let this resolve... I can't let this resolve, right? There's no way. I have to counter this. I have to counter this, because either way my Prism is dying, right? Like, I let this resolve and my Prism no longer does anything. Or I Pact it and pay with Prism. So, I think this makes sense to me. Oh, I could have also let this resolve first and get a grace and then done it that way. Is that better? No, I don't think so. But that was a line that I could have taken. I don't know if that's better. I mean, I'm probably going to get Oracle or Spoils. I guess I could just get Ad Naus and hope to draw back-to-back lands. And then just go Unlife next turn, turn after Ad Naus. Is that better? Might be. It might actually give me a better chance of winning than doing it the other way. Okay, well, Thoughtseize was not a good draw. I'm pretty sure I'm just, like, kind of cold no matter what I do. Yeah, this matchup seems rough. Not a lot of the Ponza decks that I've seen have been playing Karn, but the versions that are playing Karn are definitely tough. And now we have no colored mana. We've used our Pentad Prism counters. This is all bad. It's all bad. Yeah, all right. I mean, I could play a couple more turns, but I have no mana. Yeah, this matchup seems pretty rough, especially if they have Karn plus Blood Moon. So, hopefully, if you want to play Ad Naus, you better dodge that matchup. We're 3-1. Hopefully, we can close up the last round. I'll see you back in just a little bit for round number 5. All right, YouTube, redemption time. We just got absolutely clapped by Red-Green Karn Ponza. I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. I think that Profane Tutor allows you to keep hands like this because it essentially, like if you look at this hand, right, and you're like, we're missing a combo piece, we essentially have 8 outs. You know what I mean? Because if we draw Oracle, we can get Spoils and vice versa. So having Tutor plus White card means that you have 8 really good draws in your deck, plus another Tutor, obviously. Our Tutor is now going to be removed from our hand. Now our hand's a lot worse, but still like to keep. This matchup, I assume, is pretty bad. It seems like that they're Grixis Shadow. They could just be like Grixis not Shadow, Grixis Luris or something, but can't imagine they're not going to take the Tutor. I don't really see a reason to take either of the white cards. They both kind of do the same thing. Yeah. They agree. They agree. Thoughtseize bug? Not even close. Not even close to being close. Well, we do get access to Leyline after sideboarding, so we're at least looking forward to that, because I'm not loving how this game is going. All right, Bloodstained Mire, Blood Crypt. What you got? Bloodstained Mire, Blood Crypt, pass. Okie dokie. This looks like Fire Ice. Fire Ice, if I had to guess. Nope, just kidding. Dark Slick Shores, your move. Not quite sure why they shocked there, but don't know that it matters. I mean, I have to assume they're playing Shadow. Yeah, this is probably a Death Shadow. My suspicions were correct. They have a second one? No. Alright, what do they got? Odds they have a Stubborn Denial, 100%. I mean, I still kind of want to be mana efficient here. I'm just gonna play on life. They're probably gonna stub it, but I think I just want to try and use all my mana here. We did find a Pact. Maybe I could fight over this. I don't hate it. I also don't love it. Because if I'm in a situation where I cast Pact, right, let's say they let the Pact resolve and like they stub, I Pact, they let the Pact resolve and then stub again. then I'm in a spot where, you know, I didn't resolve the unlife and I still have to burn the Grace in the Pact. I'm not going to pack that. What's this? Also not going to pack that. Okay, okay. I don't hate this spot. Actually, if we draw an Oracle, we just win. Yeah, this is good. That is not an Oracle. Let's cast Serum Visions. Oh no, we're still missing the spoils, right? So we have to draw spoils and then Oracle. Well, there's the spoils. What is my plan? I don't really know. Pretty sure I have to bottom both of these cards. And hope that I draw spoils or Oracle, because if I draw spoils, I can go spoils for Oracle, play Oracle, spoils for card not in my deck, and then we're good. So I think I'm just going to bottom both of these. And play Gemstone Mine. Play Gemstone Pass. And if they cast a discard spell, I probably have to pact it. It's like they only maybe just have a bunch of counter magic in their hand. Alright, no blocks. No blocks. Alright, take 5. That is fine. Yeah, if they don't put Lurrus in their hand, I mean, we kind of already assumed they had counter spells. But it seems like they probably have Drown in the lock if they're not putting Lurrus in their hand. Because if they had Stub, they might just Lurrus plus hold up Stub that way. Drew a Pentad Prism, which is not great. I mean, I'll play it, but... Right. I assume they're not going to fight over this, and then we'll just pass. One small thing there, I probably should have played Pentad Prism before my land. Because there's a chance if they think that I'm trying to resolve Ad Nauseam, without showing them the land, they might fight over the Prism. Potentially. Although, I think they may have known about one of those lands. I don't remember from the Inquisition. So maybe that didn't matter. Now they're going to Lurrus. Well, now if they're Lurrusing, they 100% have Drown. But we still have Drown beat, because we have Pact. We can beat one piece of interaction. How about more mana? More mana is not a welcome sign. I'm actually just not even going to play it. In case they have Kroxa. I don't really think playing it accomplishes much, so I won't. I will cast Angel's Grace this turn, so that I essentially... One thing you want to keep in mind if you have Phyrexian Unlife in play, you want to cast Angel's Grace to not go below 1 life, because let's say, for example, I take the damage this turn, I now go to negative life. If I Angel's Grace the turn after, because I'm already at negative life, I take a bunch of infect damage, right? And Angel's Grace does not prevent infect damage. So I'm gracing now so that I only stay, so I stay at 1. And then next turn, oh, they're going to fight over this. Well, I have to fight back. I do have to fight back. I guess that was a reason to play the Prism, huh? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5. I still have enough mana, but I should have played Prism for this reason. I wanted to hold it in case they had Kroxa, because I don't want to discard any of the other cards in my hand. Like, imagine a scenario where I play Prism, and then they play Kroxa. I have to probably discard Pact and keep the 2 combo pieces. Because I have to keep the Grace to play around exactly this. So I just put myself in an awkward spot. They can't fight over this Grace, though, so I don't know what they're trying to do. Should have let the Surveil resolve first, but... I don't know if it matters too much. Wait, they bolted themselves? Oh, I just assumed they bolted me. Huh. That's weird. Okay, well, in any case, whether they bolt me or themselves, I still would have ended up casting the Grace in combat, but I just assumed they were targeting me. I don't know why they would target themselves. That's kind of weird. Also, this attack doesn't do anything. It puts me to 1, I guess, but... Alright, that's his Oracle. Spoils the vault. How about a Lotus Bloom? Alright, I guess I'll play Pentad Prism. Your move. So now if they have Teamer Battle Rage, I have to fight over that, because Teamer Battle Rage first strike puts me to 0, and then regular combat damage I die to Infect. But I can let this attack happen. Alright. Got one more draw step. One more draw step. We've had a lot. I feel like we've given ourselves the most amount of draw steps, but we just have not been able to find the Oracle or the spoils. I don't really think there was a way I could have done this to give myself more draw steps. The only decision I made was the bottom of the Serum Visions, but let's see what we got. Pact of Negation. Oh wait, I can just spoils for Ad Naus now, right? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, what am I doing? People watching this video are probably screaming at me. Just cast the spoils? I just forget that there's one Ad Naus in my deck. I mean, obviously, if I exile all 4 Oracles off of the spoils, then I lose, but... Alright, I'll let them resolve the Channeler trigger. I guess if I had gone for this last turn, I lose the double counterspell. So maybe that was a reason to wait? Because I could have just done this last turn, right? But drawing the second pact allows me to beat 2 counterspells, which they had. That's okay. So maybe I actually just 5-headed myself into playing this correctly. Who knows? We'll find out. I will name Ad Nauseam, and I'm fully prepared to exile all 4 of my Oracles. Okay, I did not. Woo! Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cast the Ad Nauseam. Alright, and then I will play Thassa's Oracle after drawing my deck. And that's why the 1 Ad Naus is there. Alright. Stumbled my stat. I think for the most part I played that game well. I just completely forgot that I had an Ad Naus in my deck. And I think I maybe could have done things a little bit differently to potentially set this up a little bit quicker. But it ended up working out because I ended up drawing the second Pact of Negation, which I needed to be able to fight through the double drown. So... okay. They're going to bolt it. Come on. Opponent. Opponent, I have no cards in my deck. Please. Alright, kill you. Game 2 against Grixis Shadow. See, this is one of the really tough matchups because they have discard spells and counter magic. One of the very few decks that sports both. So, and on top of that, they have a fast clock. So you need to have a lot of moving parts against them. So it's a question of what axis do I want to fight on the most when I'm on the draw. Huh. Definitely let me know in the comment section below how you would sideboard in this matchup, because I am not quite sure. My instinct is to just bring in all the ley lines. Like Leyline plus Veil, and just leave the Pact and the Pierce at home. Maybe the Pact is good enough too, and then I just cut all the cantrips. Let's try that. Let's do this, and let's just leave 1 Serum Visions. It also feels kind of weird to board out counter magic, or board out cantrips against the deck that has discard spells, but assuming you can set up Leyline, the discard spells are kind of blanks anyways. So it's really just fighting over the counter spells. So this way we have maximum number of ways to fight over discard with Leyline and Veil, maximum number of ways to fight, or most efficient ways to fight over counter magic, Pact and Veil. Veil, I think, is the best card in this matchup. So yeah, I think this makes sense to me. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Cutting all the cantrips seems kind of weird. Maybe I should be trimming on Unlife, because Unlife is worse against their counter magic, but I'm not 100% positive. Yeah, see, this is one of those spots. I'm going to keep this hand because of how important Leyline is. But imagine if this was just a cantrip, you know? Maybe keeping this is too risky, but I am okay with it. Looks like they have Dragon's Rage Channeler. No. Can't Thoughtseize me. Interesting they would fetch before the bauble. I feel like they would want to bauble themselves to see if they want to keep the card. Unless they plan on Thoughtseizing themselves. To potentially turn on a Shadow. What lands in my deck do not produce black mana? 1, 2, 3, 4. What lands in my deck don't produce blue mana? 1. Okay, so I should probably play this as a black land. Because I have the Profane Tutor. And I don't really think hard casting Oracle off of 2 lands is going to come up that often. Yeah, I'll play this as a black land. Because I have way more lands that don't tap for black than lands that don't tap for blue. So I'm more likely to draw a land that taps for blue mana than I am to tap, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to articulate that. Okay. I don't have a second land. We have a second land. Black, red. Actually, I should probably just blank their Stubborn now, right? And just Profane Tutor? Yeah, that's way better. And then if I draw a land, I can go Prism plus Veil the turn after. Yeah, this is much, much better. Because they probably have Stub. And now they might tap out. And then we just get to resolve Prism anyways. Perhaps. Maybe not. Maybe. What do you got, V Big T? V Big T. I like how these lands look. Dothy Voidwalker. Okay. I can live with that. Hopefully they don't have Kolaghan's Command. Because that would kill my Prism, and I would not enjoy that. I wouldn't mind drawing a land. Honestly, if I draw a land, I might just play Unlife. Nah, it still might be better to play Prism. Okay, well, that's not a land anyways. Black, blue, done. Go. They have Force of Negation? Maybe. Maybe not. They're thinking. Alright, no force. I know that I can still protect my Prism from Kolaghan's Command with Veil of Summer by removing a counter, but I ideally would want to not remove a counter. That's why I wanted to draw land that turn. But I mean, if they cast Kolaghan's Command, I probably have to Veil of Summer. Okay, that is fine. Just not concern me too much. Lightning Bolt themselves. You love to see it. Now they can cast a Shadow. Okay, okay. So I'm just going to get Spoils. Yeah, I'm going to get Spoils, and then I'm going to cast Unlife, probably. Alright, go to 17. Yeah, definitely getting Spoils. Lotus Bloom came a little bit too late, but I think it might still be okay. Alright, where is the Spoils of the Vault? We also just kill them if we draw Grace, which we did not. Huh. So this is kind of awkward. 2, 3, 4, 5. If I cast Unlife, I have to bin the Gemstone Mine and use a Pentad Prism counter, which means I then only have access to 2 mana the turn after, so I think it's just probably better for me to go tap Pathway, remove a counter from Prism, play second Prism, and then any land would allow me to go Unlife Oracle Spoils. Or I could just take a big chunk, play Unlife, veil their counterspell. Yeah, that's probably just better, right? So just go black, red, play Prism here. Hopefully don't have to use the veil. Yeah, I think I like this better. Because I don't think I can afford to bin the mine and use a Prism counter there. Because there's also a chance I just wait until the Lotus Bloom comes off, which is 2 turns, right? Yeah. Right, what do they got? Thoughtseize themselves. Well, that's good, because now I have perfect information. So if their last card's not a counterspell, I can just go for it unimpeded. Alright, well, they do have a counterspell. So 8, 11, 14, I go to 3. And then I have to go Unlife plus Veil. And I believe, did they bin the bubble or keep a card on top? I don't remember if that was a bin. That was a bin, so they don't know their top card. Land would be good here. Well, it just kills them, right? Because we go 1, 2, 3, 4 plus Veil. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. So... not missing anything, right? Blue, blue, cast Oracle, white, cast Grace, black, cast Spoils, green, cast Veil. Cool. All right. Well, looks like we got the 4-1. I stumbled my way through game 1. I'm not a big fan of how I played game 1. I think I just completely didn't even realize until I ended up drawing the second Pact of Negation. And it ended up actually working out for me. So maybe I just played that game right? I don't know. But this match was interesting. Again, I think this matchup is kind of close because it really all comes down to how you want to sideboard, and it's really tough because they have discard spells and counter magic. It's not easy. You know, you have to really pick and choose your battles, and I'm not sure. I think I like the way I sideboarded, but I think it's close. Again, let me know in the comment section below how you would sideboard in a matchup like this. Maybe if you have some more experience with Ad Naus than myself, but... we stumbled our way to a 4-1, only losing. We beat Mill somehow. I don't really know how that happened, but we beat Mill, and we ended up losing to the Karn Ponza deck. But yeah, we beat Mill, and that was kind of cool. So 4-1. Let me just go over the deck real quick. Cool. Deck was a lot of fun. I really think that this deck is in a pretty good position right now, especially if you're expecting a lot of the Asmo food decks, because I think this deck kind of dominates them. It's really hard. Their deck just doesn't have, like, they're a mid-range deck, you know, at heart, and they don't have they don't have a quick clock, they don't have a ton of meaningful disruption, so that's a good matchup, and yeah, this deck felt pretty good. So, if you have made it all the way to the end of the video, I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.